Hey, Brown Girls, it's Jamie Watkins, your happiness coach of My Piece of Happy. I'm so excited to be sharing today. I am a speaker, author, and coach in the mental wellness space. You can find me at mypieceofhappy.com or across all socials, My Piece of Happy, PEACE. So I do that a lot, and I'm excited to share with you today.
Get ready to dance to the beat of Black Girl Boss Magic as we kick off Season 2 of the BrwnGrlz Collective. We're here to salute and amplify the stories of Black women who are crushing it in the business world. From fashion to tech, healthcare to education, these trailblazing women have faced obstacles head-on and emerged victorious. We are diving deep into their journeys, sharing their secrets, and throwing some much-deserved praise their way. So come join the party at the BrwnGrlz Collective, and let's get this celebration of Black female empowerment started.
What's up, Brown Girls? It's your girl Jasmine. I am back with another amazing video. We have Jamie here. She is an author, motivational speaker. She is just everything, and I can't wait to get into these questions and talk to her. I'm gonna let y'all know right now, this is my sister. She's so cute. We are gonna talk to her. She's so motivating. I love seeing her stuff on Instagram. So let's get into it, okay?
I am a speaker, author, and coach, and this all started back in 2018 when I kicked off a blog called My Piece of Happy. And that was just in a space to help women that may have found themselves where I was. Seven years into my self-love journey. And at that time, I just knew that there was more. And I read a book actually. And one of the quotes in the book was, "Your dream doesn't have an expiration date." And that kind of sparked this fire and diminished the I guess lie I had been telling myself, that I had disqualified myself, whether it was age, time, resources, from what I had a passion to do. If we want to say passion, it was just always for serving people. That's
Right.
one of my gifts, I know, is service and helps. And so at that point I was like, you know what, there is more I'm supposed to be doing. And so that's how the blog came to be. I told my husband, it was actually, we were on a cruise for my daughter, and I'm like, there's something more I'm supposed to be doing. I have to
Right.
figure out what it is. And whatever it is, I want to be able to do it from anywhere.
Right.
And so I was like, well, the internet is free. And so let's get past the excuses of the resources, the money, the brick and mortar, right? What can I do with what I have? And so I was like, I'll do a blog, and I can just kind of pump this stuff in me, right? This inspiration, these lessons learned in a blog. And so I started blogging to women, and the response from that was really great. And it was like, we want more. What more can we do? So at the time, I was going to take it off to do like little intimate workshops. And then COVID happened. And so we were all indoors. There was no intimate workshops in person anyway. And so I was like, well, this is a good opportunity for me to get my coaching certification. So I did that online. And then as the world opened back up, I decided to, well, I didn't just decide, I got beaten ahead, but decided
Right.
to, I got beaten ahead by God in order to be obedient. He had showed me speaking and writing. And so I leaned into that space as well. Thus
Okay.
the blog to coaching to writing to speaking.
What inspired you?
My inspiration was my personal journey. Like let me back up a little to coming, how I started my self-love journey was out of finding myself in a toxic relationship. And at the end of that marriage, knowing like, okay, this is not working. This is not how I want the rest of my life to be. And I was pretty much forced into um, make a decision. Like it's either going to be like this or something has to change and it's going to be on me.
Right.
The other individual, nothing else is going to change unless I change it. And so I really had to decide, okay, I'll start with trying to kind of overcompensate at the time this love that I wanted. I'll try to see what it feels like to try to love myself, which was really, really hard at the time because I had allowed myself to believe so many lies about whether I was worthy or whether I was enough. And so I turned to God and like, hey, if you say all these things about me, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, right? You've given me all this authority. I hear all these things, but I'm not feeling like it.
Right.
Definitely not believing it. And so I forced myself really like to try it. Like what if you try to believe who God said you were? And so that I embarked on this self-love journey. And the more I did start to embrace that idea that, you know what, I am enough, it kind of led me to, I'm not going to stay in this situation. I'm not going to stay in this marriage. I'm going to be better for me, for my children. And so I left that in the freedom of the idea that I have options, one, right? I'm not stuck like I had thought for so many years. Like this is just going to be the rest of my life. The freedom in knowing I can choose something different for myself. And then the freedom in just being like, I get to control who I am. So like self-discovery, you mentioned earlier, like this self-discovery was, I do have options. I can choose. Nothing about the situation changed. Only I changed. And so that just opened up like this new like aha moment, if you will, that I don't need to worry about the situation, right? I get to dictate this. I can choose to believe something different, and that changed my life.
Yeah.
And so through the years, this freedom, right, I was able to not just love myself, but allow myself to be loved again, which is where we connect, and get married again. Get married again. And just the joy that I was able to experience, that I felt like ultimately, yes, God, right, has ordered my steps, and all good and perfect things come from him. But just allowing myself to embrace even what he has for me. And so that continues to inspire me to say, if I can help someone else that may feel like they're not enough, or maybe believing the lies that somebody told them, or whatever the situation, it doesn't even have to be as toxic as my marriage, but wherever they find themselves, just to know that they have options, that they can experience this freedom. And so that continues to inspire me to just help other, particularly women I have a heart for, but help people in general to explore the idea that you can control more than you think.
Yeah. It's true, because I mean, I watched, your videos and stuff like that, and I did read your book.
Thank you.
So I think that, like you said, a lot of people don't realize they have as much power over how their life turns out than they do. They don't think that they have the ability to change that, right? So I think that it's amazing that you were able to figure that out and just, see it through. And get to where you were. Because if you didn't, I probably wouldn't even met you. So
it was a long time coming.
Right. I'm sure it took some time. I know you didn't just wake up and bam, things were the way they were supposed to be. But I'm proud of you for being able to do that, because I know that was not an easy task at all. So that's amazing that you were able to do that.
Thank you. And you asked me, I'm sorry, just because I have ADD, right? I just now it's come back that you asked me about any challenges.
Right. Yeah.
So what you just said, like, it's not an easy easier said than done kind of thing, right? But
Mm-hmm.
so worth it is what I want to stress. That
Mm.
anything I say, because I smile, because I'm the happiness coach now, like it's effort, it's work, and but it's worth it. It's worth it. And you're worth it, right? Like
Right.
you're worth the hard work that it takes to create this lifestyle that you want. And the
Mm-hmm.
challenges, I would say overall, if I had to sum up the biggest challenges, it wasn't the other person, it wasn't the circumstances, remember, because those didn't change. It was
Right.
overcoming me. Like
Mm-hmm.
what getting in my head about believing the lies, or getting in my way about resources I didn't have, or overthinking if
Mm.
something would work out, or what
Right.
might happen if the uncertainty, like it really is all the self-work, the
Right.
mindset, the limited beliefs. So
Yeah.
the biggest challenges that I run into typically are in my head. That's the mental
Yeah.
wellness that I
Yeah.
promote.
Yeah, for sure. I know if you guys have watched before, she was on one of our panels, our mental health panel that we had. And I actually started seeing a therapist after. So,
Nice. Look at that.
I'm working on it. I know
Congratulations.
that the
Congratulations.
yeah, the previous videos I've been saying I was gonna do it, I was gonna do it. So yes, I finally found a therapist,
Nice.
and we working through it. So I
Nice.
do appreciate that, a panel, and being able to talk to you guys, about you know women's mental health and things like that. So it definitely inspired me. So
And you see, my
yeah.
business model, that is the exact, that is the real time almost. We grow
Mhm.
better together. That's the whole
Right.
idea of, right? We can come together, we can share, and we can walk away and be like, you know what? Let me get on this, right? Not that,
Right.
like you said, you were already saying it, thinking about it, but it was just
Mhm.
that little, like having that community, that camaraderie, that agreement, right? To say, like,
Yeah.
okay, let's get this done. I
Yeah.
love it.
For sure. That was exactly what it was.
Get out of your head. um,
That's important.
get out of your head in terms of really, we are like our worst enemy.
Mhm.
Um, if we can get past ourselves, I would say one, remember that it's never about you. I believe any purpose, um, I won't say passion, but I'll say purpose is or should um, involve a service to someone else. And
Right.
so in the space, so you said like life coaching or writing, even the writing, right? My
Mhm.
book is, yes, about me, but it became clear it wasn't just for me. Like the process that I take women through is therapeutic, it's healing, but it's never just for us. Like what we go through,
Mhm.
the sharing, the reason that we grow better together, the community it builds. We're not meant to do this life alone. And so whatever you do, even if it's not in the space of coaching or speaking, should provide a service to someone in some capacity, even if it's the smile on your face you wear that day.
Right.
Yes, it boosts your endorphins and it makes you feel good, but it also is going to impact somebody else. Because you think about when you go to a cash register, right? A smile versus scowl is going to make a difference from whether you're like hello or like right, like maybe you
Right.
should work that. Like
Yeah.
so, even the little things that we take for granted sometimes can
Mhm.
just have a big impact. So whatever service you would say you're in, I would say make sure that you remember it's not always about you or only about you. I would say
Right.
even the space of self love that I teach in and coach in. The idea is we're making ourselves better to serve ourselves, so that we're better to serve others.
Right.
So it's like the most selfless act, even though the narrative is it's selfish. But I feel
Right.
like it's selfless because it's work to truly love yourself. Not
Right.
just like um, self-love, like, oh yes, do me for me, like self-love, like, no, that's not self-love. Self-love is like, let me go to therapy, right? Like, let
Right.
me tackle these dark places that are uncomfortable so that I can
Mhm.
be better for
Yeah.
myself and those around me. So that's real self-love. Like I'm actually going to be talking about that soon. That's the hard work. So I would say wherever capacity you're serving in, do the
Mhm.
work. Know that you're worth the work, and it will help you to continue to show up if you remember that people are assigned to you, like they're depending on you. And
Right.
so even when you don't feel like it, you show up for the other people.
So you usually do like lives, with
Do.
of course specific topics so that people can tune in and, you know,
Mhm.
get some
Yep, we do
insight
our
from you.
midweek check-ins on Wednesday. Short
Okay.
little reel or clip. New
Mm,
podcast episodes come out on Wednesdays. Longest podcast is probably maybe not even quite 10 minutes.
okay.
Sometimes they average around 3, 4 minutes. The
Mhm.
idea is simple yet significant. Something is just sometimes it's a story time, something that happened to me. Like I had one, I had one, I was like, yeah, why did my nail pop off in the Starbucks line? Like, but it, it like triggered something else and it was like, oh, things pop off in our life and So like,
Okay.
sometimes it's a quick story and then
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, hey, 5 ways to, get you where you're
Mhm.
going. But something simple yet significant to get you through the week. So yeah,
Nice.
Wednesdays are things go down on
Okay.
Wednesdays.
All right. I need to start paying attention on Wednesday. I need to go
Yeah.
back and look. So tell me about your book and, how you came to write My Piece of Happy.
Certainly. So every year, for the new year, I
Mhm.
usually have a focus word. This year being freedom, but at the time, the word was greater, and this was 2021. So I'm a little impatient sometimes with God, right? I think we all are sometimes. And
Mhm.
so it was about April. I'm in doing the coaching. And I'm like, God, like where is this greater? Like, I don't, I feel like it's the same as it was last month. And like,
Right.
where's this greater that I'm supposed to see in this year? And I'm telling you, in my mom voice, I heard him say, don't ask me for nothing else until you do what I told you.
Oh.
And immediately I was convicted. And I
Mm.
remember that 3 years prior, he showed me speaking and like speaking on a stage, all these people, I'm speaking, and then I come off the stage and I'm signing my book in the back.
Mm.
And at the time, I was like, yeah, not going to do the speaking thing, but that's nice. And then I was like, and then I was like, oh, I have a book in me. And so I
Mm,
would repeat that. Like over the years, I would journal. I'm a best-selling author, like
mm.
faithfully, but I never picked up the pen. I was just like he showed me this vision. I guess he's gonna download this book. You hear testimonies. So I'm
Right.
like, I guess he's gonna give me this
Just saying
book.
for it to happen, right.
Right. Like no faith without works. Okay, no works. I was just like,
Right,
yep, I got
right.
it. And so when I was in this, like, okay, the coaching is kind of like stale, like what's going on? Where is this greater? And he hit me with that. Immediately I knew it was like, I know what he's talking about. And so I was so convicted. I paused my coaching for 2 years. Like I just started the writing coaching this year once he gave me the okay and the clarity of what direction to take it in.
Okay.
But I was like, pause, Jamie, get in line. And so I got an author coach. I joined a speaking academy and
Mm.
was really just like, I need to be obedient. And so I wrote it from 3 years, I wrote it in 3 weeks.
What?
Because right after 3 years of like, I'm not an author, I don't know how to write no book. I guess he didn't give it to me. I don't know,
Right, right, right. You did
And
it differently.
so really, it was in me all along.
Mhm.
God's timing is perfect. And so the intro to the book is actually like an apology to the reader because as I'm starting to write, it's flowing. I'm like, oh my gosh. Not only is it therapeutic and healing to me, I know
Mhm.
this is going to bless somebody. Like, I know somebody needs this. And I sat on it for 3 years. So I was
Mm.
like, really like feeling like I was crying. I did like an Instagram live at the time. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so
Right.
sorry. Like, I got to get the book out. And
Yeah.
so that goes back to the like, it's not just about me. Like I'm in
Mhm.
my head about how I can't write or I wouldn't know how to write a book. When guys like, I just said do it. So from
Yeah.
3 years to 3 weeks, it's there, it was done, it's blessing people, it blessed me, the
Mhm.
journey, which I help women now to write their stories. But
Right.
that's how it came about, like really out of obedience, not knowing what I was doing, just saying, okay, God, like, I guess you got me because you just hit me upside the head with this. And
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he gave you the tools, he told you what to do, you just had to do it. Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
it
do it.
definitely was a big lesson. And that's another pivotal moment for me because it helped me to like going forward, like when he tells me something, it's like, just do
Yeah.
it because I felt so like, gosh, like if I would just did it 3 years ago, like, and I had to even get over that and knowing that he's
Mhm.
not surprised, right? So he
Right.
knew, even when he
Mhm.
showed me, like, she gonna take 3 years to do this, right?
For real.
Because that's how he is, all knowing.
Uh,
But now I'm like, okay, just get it done, like, just do it. He's got you.
yeah. Yeah. You gotta go ahead and kick yourself in the butt and just go ahead and
Yep.
do it. That's all. Get up and
Exactly.
do it.
Get it done.
I know that the book is my piece of happy, but it's a memoir.
Yes, it is I like to describe it as a conversation with the reader. It's like this, like if we're just sitting down talking and I'm sharing my story, because there's
Mhm.
reflection pages after each chapter, and the idea behind that is it's not just me being like, guess what happened to me? It's
Right.
me sharing so that you can be like, "Ooh, let me think about my own story." And
Mhm.
so it's reflective, there's lifestyle success tips, and because I'm in the coaching space, there's also like a kickstart guide at the back, like if you want to say like, okay, let me like do some work, let me start my own self-love journey.
Mhm.
There's that, but there's ways for you to just kind of like, yes, I'm telling my story, but I'm helping you to find your story in there
Right.
and you can do the
Mhm.
work that I've done in your space, which is still so mind-blowing to me, but I'm so grateful.
Why though? Like, why is it mind blowing? Because I mean, you
I don't
knew it was
know,
supposed to be
every
something.
time I'm just like, wow, like that's when they're like, oh my gosh, I read your book, and it's like, yes, it's what I want. I hope, I mean, I put it all out there. Like I hope somebody walks away with more than like, oh, you was a hot mess. Like I
Right.
hope that you were able to like learn from, like get something from it.
Right.
So the idea that to me it's like I was very like it was the only way I knew how to be at that point. Like that's the point I'm at in my journey was like this is me. But
Right.
like, okay, the hardest, like when I'm going through the outline and stuff, it's like, what's going to be beneficial to someone is my hardest moments, like the darkest moments, the biggest lessons are like the death, the grief, the hard times. But the fact that somebody's like, this was so inspiring and this helped me to, start my business, or this helped me to write my book, or this helped me, like, okay, some good came out of that, like the purpose and the pain, right? Like,
Mhm.
wow, that's crazy, but I don't know, always grateful.
Yeah. It should be. It's amazing. Okay. So why do you believe it's important for the Black community to have a strong presence in their, respective communities?
Oh, that very important. Representation, pretty much, right? Is the
Mhm.
why is that important? So that we can see ourselves within ourselves, and that we can do better, that we can be better, that we can thrive together. Um, I think it's especially important for our children to see
Right.
themselves, because we're all still growing, but they are growing a lot at a faster rate when they're younger, right? We
Mhm.
kind of slow down when we get older, but at a faster rate, and trying to figure those things out. I think it's important that they can look within the community to
Right.
aspire,
Right.
to grow and set goals around what they see around them, and let that be that we are enough within our own community. The world is bigger than our community. I get that, but I think it's extremely important to see that representation so that the sky's the limit,
Mhm.
and you're not kind of capped at I've only seen this, because we can get stuck in our heads again,
Mm.
around expectations, and that is set around your environment for the most part until you learn to branch out of that. Again, speaking to children, it's going to be what they see around them, and if they've never seen it, then sometimes they don't believe it exists, and not
Right.
for them. So I
Exactly.
think that's why that's important.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely need that, that positive, influence, not only like on TV, but like right there in your
Right.
community.
So it's
So you,
real.
yeah, so yeah.
It's
Um,
attainable. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Not that, seeing that on TV and stuff is not, attainable either, but it's right there and it makes it more easy for you to touch. And then maybe once you get there, you can, get to the screen, so it's
Right.
always
Right.
to have that no, and it doesn't even have to be in that uh you know particular role like TV or whatever. That was just what the first thing I could
Yeah,
think of. But
gotcha.
with anything,
Mhm.
it's as long as it's right there, it's a better chance, and it just gives them a better outlook and a better direction to go in than what they could be doing if they're in a bad area.
Exactly. And options are, like we talked about earlier, right? Knowing that you get to choose and you have options. The more options you can see in front of you,
Hmm.
that just kind of broadens your again setting goals, and the more options the better, right? Like you actually get to choose. It's not I've only seen this or that, so I'm
Hmm.
either on the corner, or I have to do this thing. Like,
Right.
you have this plethora of options. The more we can bring and upbuild the community, and offer more options for children, and everybody, not even just children. Let me
Yeah, adults too,
children,
because
yes, but
too.
even us, right? Like it helps when I walk in the room and I'm not the only one. Like,
Right.
so yes, I'm comfortable now with being the only one, but
Hmm.
it definitely, you make that connection that the non-verbal, right?
Yeah.
It definitely helps when you're not the only one. So
Yeah, it
the more
does.
we can infiltrate spaces and build up our community, the better.
All right, so Jamie, it has been great talking to you. I'm glad we were
Likewise.
able to do this and get people to get to know you and everything like that. Y'all make sure y'all follow Jamie. Go ahead and tell them one more time your Instagram name and how they can get in contact with you if they wanted to
Yes.
get some coaching.
Okay, everything is my piece of happy. PEACE. I do this a lot for context. So PEACE, my piece of happy on all social, mypieceofhappy.com. If you are interested in booking me for keynote speaker wellness workshops, you can go to the booking form on the website, or go under coaching if you're interested in sharing your story and becoming an author.
Stay tuned, Brown Girls. We have so many more interviews coming your way. Y'all make sure, if you are not already, that you are following us on all social media platforms. That is Brown Girls ENT, or Brown Girls Collective. That's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We've been enjoying it a lot. So that's it. Y'all make sure y'all have a good one. It's been great speaking with you, Jamie. See you later, Brown
Thank you
Girls.
again.
Next time on the Brown Girls Collective, remember to like and subscribe.